Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel where tech meets creativity, and in today's automation video we'll be looking at selectors in UiPath and how we can design robust dynamic selectors that could work in any kind of situation, even in the difficult situations. So I'm using a community version of UiPath. As you can see, I'm using Studio 2025.1, 2025.0.16. If you're using some older versions, and depending on the design experience that you have enabled, because we have two design experiences in UiPath, we have a classic one and we also have a modern experience. So for personally, what I'll be going through, it will be for the modern experience, but to know that there is some, it's in particular, if you're talking about selectors, if you're using the classic experience, you could there are some concepts where we have full selectors and partial selectors, and the full selectors will mainly come in if you're using classic activities, but for the modern experience, as we have seen, that most of the activities reside within a container. When I say container, we have seen it already. This is an example of a container. So all of the activities reside within a container. So that means within the modern experience, we're only working with partial selectors. So that will bring us to our today's topic. So this is the website that we're working with, avas.com. It literally generates random passwords. So the task that we have at hand, is to scrape this password and display it to the user, right? But you see what happens. So I'm hitting F5 to refresh the tab. So see, every time I refresh, we're getting a different password. So this is where, if I refresh again, you see we have something different. So how do we handle this ever-changing UI element? So that brings us to the topic of today. So we'll be looking at dynamic selectors and how we could use the wildcards to handle those kind of situations. So I'll hit indicate application. So I'll indicate my application. So I'll go ahead and grab my get text activity, and I'll hit on to indicate the element. So I'm indicating, so this is my area I want to work with. So I'm indicating it. By default, they have enabled fuzzy selectors for the target, but I'll uncheck this and I'll click on the strict. Okay, I'll check strict, then I'll uncheck fuzzy. So this is what we have for the strict. Then I'll hit on this icon. You see this icon which says Open in UI Explorer. So I hit on the Open in UiPath Explorer, which opens my UiPath Explorer. So the UiPath Explorer in literal user interface explorer. So you see it gives you more details about the UI element that you're working with. On the top left, you see I have my visual tree, which gives you just a tree-like structure of your elements, the UI element that you're working with. Also on the left bottom, we have a property explorer, which gives you the different attributes within the tags that you're working with in your UI. Then we have this selector editor and selected items, which are basically attributes, and your playground where you can edit, right? So if I highlight, you see I'm able to pick the UI element that I selected, but we are going to make a few changes in the selector. So we see now ANM, it's empty, right? And the idea would be that our password will be the one in our ANM. So we have two wildcards in UiPath. We have the question mark, which replaces a single character, right? And we have a wildcard, which can replace numerous characters. So check out this. So if I replace the empty string in the AA with the wildcard asterisk, and I come back here and validate, so you see I still pick the same what? The same UI element, meaning the wildcard, the asterisk didn't change anything. Whichever character is there, it will pick it, because as we say, the asterisk replaces multiple characters. Then the question mark replaces a single character. But in our case, we will be working with the asterisk. So you see here, the selector is a bit more dynamic. So in the event that I have any different text in there, it will always work. For example, if I change it to a different text, or even not even different text, if I try to, because you say the question mark replaces a single character. So if I, instead of using the asterisk, I use a question mark and I come back and validate, right? You see I'm failing, I'm getting red, meaning it doesn't work. But when I leave the asterisk and I come back and revalidate again, I'm getting green and I'm getting my desired element. Although you could make a few tweaks. I could say class, I could disable the CSS, because I feel like this is more neat. Then I come back and try to validate again, try to highlight, so it seems I'm still getting the same even after the few changes. You see, so probably you see now this kind of number, I don't know whether it's standard or random, but probably it could change given the whichever platform that you, given the machine that you're working with. So I could also change this to asterisk and it won't change a thing. So if I validate, so that's how the wildcard and the asterisk, personally the asterisk is my favorite. They come in handy in designing robust UI selectors. So once I've validated, I'll come hit my save button. There's no anchor. I'll validate. It says all is well, even though it has no anchor. At least we don't have any other input text box on the screen, so it will be easy for the bot to identify. So once I have that, I'll create a variable. I'll call it st password, and I'll display it to the user. So type in message box, click, then I'll say your password is space, then plus sign, then my password string variable. So I'll go ahead and I'll run. So it is bringing this very password. It's saying your password is very strong. Okay. So how about let me try to close. But we also, you see, we have undesired text in our password, like very strong. So what do you think? You type in the comment section. How do you think we could go about just having our desired text, not having this very strong? How do you think we could go about it? But as you think about that, I'll try and close this one, and then I run again. So I'll bring this, I'll drag this back here. So we're getting something different. It's not telling. So okay, cool. So what I do, just I have to put some bit of delay so that some bit of delay, so I'll come in snippets, then I'll put 5-second delay for the page to first load fully, then it picks after. It's displaying in my other screen. I'll drag it for you so that you can see. So it's saying we're getting the exact one, very strong. So how do we, that's okay. So I'll show you how we can deal with that. So I'll say replace and open. So I'm replacing space very strong with just nothing. Replacing with nothing. So if I very strong, and gives you the, you see the function gives you the intel sense, gives you the structure of the replace function. So old value, which is my old, then the new value I'm replacing it with. So I'll save and I will run. It has opened, it's loading, boom, and we get our clean text without any additional things. So you see I'm having exactly as it comes, your password is. So being able to handle the difficult situation and remove the undesired text. So yeah, so that's it for the dynamic selectors. So we have looked at basically dynamic selectors, and I've seen how we could leverage the wildcards, which is the asterisk and the question mark. For the asterisk, we have seen that we could use it to replace multiple characters, and with the question mark, we have seen that it can replace a single character. Yeah, if you did find the videos useful, do consider hitting that like button, and also subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you're always notified every time I upload a new video. Yes, I'm out and see you in the next video.